Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me, as always,
Erik.
Erik,
what's up, homie?
You can find us on the gram at REC Podcast. You can follow myself at Roman REC Podcast, and you can follow REC Comics and Collectibles at REC Comics.
Get on there.
Get on there.
See what my boy got.
Come into the store. Come say hi. I've been meeting some of you guys. I've been making new friends, and it's been really, really awesome.
What?
Yeah, baby, it's all good, man. But yeah, it's been awesome. We've been making some deals, making a little bit of money. So yeah, come check us out, 7679 North Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs.
Deep in the heart of Colorado.
I don't know.
We're like Denver light.
Interesting.
Colorado Springs is Denver
feels
light.
Feels like it. But our shop is kind of in a neighborhood almost, and
pretty much, yeah.
It's nice and homey.
It's literally like the neighborhood comic book store.
Yes, and that's the plan. That's the plan. New people every day, and I'm excited about that.
Awesome, man.
And if it wasn't perfect, working in my own place, working around comics, Spider-Man, No Way Home.
We're jumping right into this.
We're jumping into that, man. We're gonna, you know what? This is the hotness. This is the news. Okay. It came out about 24 hours ago.
Right.
There was some memes going on around, and it was like, our Spider-Man expectations, and it just showed all the rumors. Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, just everything that we thought that could be in a Spider-Verse type movie. All the rumor mill. This comes out strong. This trailer came out super strong, and we get Doctor Strange pretty much right off the bat. And
it does open up with it does give you a good recap of what happened in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yes, and I guess spoilers.
There's going to be minor spoilers. So if you hadn't seen Homecoming, then what are you doing watching?
And if you hadn't watched the No Way Home trailer,
What is it? So what is it? What am I talking about? The second Spider-Man.
You're talking about Far From Home.
Okay, Far From Home is what I'm talking about. It does recap Far From Home pretty well.
Yes.
It does talk about, Mysterio revealing Peter Parker as Spider-Man. And opens up with a kind of a cool shot of him and MJ on a roof, and he's just like, can we just stay up here all day?
Yeah.
And cuts to them swinging through the city. And I do love that little touch that this MJ doesn't like the web
She's not into it.
She's not into it.
Yeah.
Then it kind of goes into like the whole, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, he's a murderer, and But then that's when we get into our little Doctor Strange, not even a cameo. I'm assuming he's kind of in this movie. He's kind of like Hulk was to Ragnarok.
Yeah, good way.
That's kind of what Doctor Strange is.
Yeah,
I think
co-star.
Basically.
Hopefully he's the 1B of this scenario, and something that we speculated, and a lot of people did. This wasn't just our theory, but we talked about it in depth on this show. Was it appears that Peter, addresses Doctor Strange and is like, "Hey, is there a spell you can do to make people forget that I'm Spider-Man?" Which is something that we thought about. There's something that, and I think it was a very common thing. Sure. But
it's a call to one more day story.
Yeah, which. Had our boy Mephisto was a big part of it.
He's the one who makes the deal.
He makes the deal with Spider-Man. So in the comic book One More Day, Spider-Man has revealed his own identity in the Civil War storyline that we talk about all the time. He reveals himself, and then it gets really weird because you have his villains like calling him Peter during their fights, and it's like really tripping him out. Well, the Kingpin hires an assassin, and Aunt May gets shot instead of Peter, and she's like on her deathbed. Peter and Mary Jane, they go speak to Mephisto, who, as you know from our many conversations, is basically the devil of the Marvel Universe.
Right.
And they go to make a deal. And he says, yeah, I will totally make everybody forget. He's like, but I want your love. He's like, I don't want your soul.
He's like, he starts trying to kiss him. He's like, no, I don't want that kind of love.
No, he says, I want your love. And he's talking to Peter and MJ. And he's like what your actual love is. So you guys won't love each other anymore, nor will you remember that you were ever together. Which it's like, oh, well, then if I'm not going to remember, whatever,
Right, sure.
But that was kind of the cost.
Yeah.
And then they go on a very long, several-year story where Peter and MJ are not together. And it really wasn't that good. I think the editor at the time, Joe Quesada, he said something like, I miss Peter being single. And it was cool to kind of let Peter go out there and be promiscuous and do his thing, because he was very... Yeah, it was Gwen, and it was, Black Cat and Mary, but they let him kind of cut loose.
Sure.
They let him kind of cut loose. So in this, it looks kind of like, hey, I just want to like let my loved ones be okay.
Sure.
Query or theory one, I think somebody tries to kill MJ or Peter.
Of course.
Or I'm sorry, MJ or Aunt May. So that's why he's going to make this deal
with Doctor
Yes.
Strange. We get a cool little thing in there. He goes into what is Doctor Strange's house?
The Sanctum Sanctorium.
There we go. And he calls him Steven.
Yeah, that was
and great. He's like, hey, he's like, oh, sorry about that. He's like, no, we did save the universe.
Yeah, which I loved.
Yes, I'm gonna allow it.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. Then he's like, that does sound weird.
Yeah, and I like because we can, and I think it's going to be that thing that we talked about on the show is that Strange is going to like, oh, I owe Tony. Like I owe Tony a solid.
You did say that. Yeah.
And we, so I'm going to do this. But it's
because you do get Wong. We do get Wong,
yeah.
a Wong cameo in the
in all the Wong places. Okay.
Wong place, Wong time, baby.
Woo!
And he's telling Doctor Strange, hey, don't do the spell, don't do it. And then of course Doctor Strange's like, okay, I won't do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. And there was a similar thing in that same storyline. Before they go to Mephisto, they ask Doctor Strange to see if he can do a spell.
Right.
And he's unable to do it. And
Doctor Strange can't do it.
Yeah, like, and Peter's talking during it. He like kind of messes it
Very
up.
much like the trailer.
Yes. So we are seeing that.
Okay.
Amazing Spider-Man, I believe 544 is starting to heat up, kids.
Spec book.
I believe it's 544, but the storyline is one more day. There's variants. Those are going to start to go up for a bit too. And here in the trailer, we see him doing it, and Peter's just talking too much, and it seems like the spell, something bad happens.
Right.
And we start seeing all kinds of wild stuff. Theory number 2.
Ooh.
And I don't know, I mean, this would help some things, but I wonder if while Doctor Strange is doing that spell, and then Peter is talking, and what he does is it changes reality there. So it's not like we're going into the multiverse, it's that the spell has created a new universe or a new timeline that has brought in these characters.
Right.
Because what we see, and oh my God, how awesome was it? We see Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, and he's like, hey, Peter.
Hey,
like,
Peter, yeah.
Yeah, oh, it was awesome. And then we see the Green Goblin's pumpkins, and you hear him laughing.
Yeah, you hear the great Willem Dafoe's laugh as Green Goblin. Yeah.
We see a lot of lightning to indicate possibly Electro. There was some sand kicking up, so I guess we're going to get a Sandman.
Thomas Hayden Church.
And then people were talking about that they saw the lizard. I did not see the lizard.
I didn't see him.
I did not see him.
I think I saw Matt Murdock's arm.
Everybody says they're thinking that it's Matt Murdock's arm.
because he was in the, because he was being interrogated.
Yes.
And it did look like somebody who looked like a lawyer in there. So please.
Yes, that would be great. I mean, that's the things that are gonna. Because this trailer gave us everything that we were hoping to see.
Yeah, of course.
So it's Kevin Feige, it's Marvel Studios. What aren't they showing us? Right. I think even though there is a pocket of people who are like, Matt Murdock's there. I didn't catch that when I saw it, so I'm excited.
Well, I was looking for it.
I know, yeah, you were.
I think you had to be like, oh, I'm looking for that.
Yes.
Because there was so much to take in.
Dude,
there was
so much.
I watched it 3 times and probably saw something new every time I watched it.
I only watched it once. I'm so excited for more Marvel movies. Even though I haven't watched Black Widow yet, I know I'm so sorry. I'm going to watch
that
it.
one is just unfortunate. I think we might need to do a deep dive on that.
Yes,
you might get its own episode.
We owe Scarlett because she's been awesome,
man. She has put she gave her time to this.
Yeah,
dude, a lot of time, over 10 years to this franchise, and I do feel a bit awful that I didn't go out and I didn't go watch it. I didn't stream it. I didn't go to the theater. It's not that because I love the character, but I just feel like there was a lot of things that happened where I felt like it didn't matter. A lot of things had passed within that universe to where why does this even matter anymore?
Yeah,
it's not setting anything up because we got the shows before we got Black Widow.
Well, I think it is setting things up. I do think that we're going to get some type of Dark Avengers thing. I do think we're going to get her. Maybe going after Clint, like wouldn't that write itself? Like
kind of does.
Like, kind of does. My sister.
Yeah,
you were there. What happened? I feel like there could be something like that in there.
We should have just got Budapest. That's the movie we wanted.
But apparently there are some Budapest references. So,
okay, cool.
So we just need to watch it. We just need to watch it. I did watch something, but we'll come back to that. Yes. We will come back to that.
But this, I am very excited for it. I just think. Here we go. Okay, here's the cons.
All right.
I think it's just, doesn't Doctor Strange seem very. He seems out of character in this.
And I'm glad that you brought that up because I didn't really think about it. But my wife was like, I thought Doctor Strange was all, she said, all hand motions. Like, why is he like doing a spell?
Yeah.
And I very jokingly last night when the trailer premiered, and I said, I'll start first. Doctor Strange is Mephisto. And I'm really just
credence there. And he's out of character. Doctor Strange would not do this.
And like I said, my wife, like I didn't think about that because in the comics he does do that. So I have way more Doctor Strange in the comics than I do in film. But when she pointed that out, I was like, it took me a second and I was like, you're right. He doesn't like
he did a few gestures, but it was more like he's doing the
there's
hocus
other
pocus
stuff going on. But Christine said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
She said the exact same thing. So,
see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you're right.
Doctor Strange he's not acting like our Doctor Strange.
Which is Mephisto.
Yeah.
Mephisto.
Hey man, the devil will trick you, man.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to get the fiddle off between him and Peter at the end of the movie. That's how we get the the multiverse is back in track.
I like it. Any more? So is that a con? Like what's the con there?
Well, I mean, it's a con if it doesn't reveal itself to be something else.
Okay.
Like if it's just Stephen Strange acting out of character, I feel like it's a cheap way to bring everything in. You know what I mean? And I'm excited for everything. Don't get me wrong, but I need the why.
Yeah.
Before I get the goods.
Here's the why.
Okay.
Here's the why Steven's a little different. I've got it. We see him in that hoodie too. Mm-hmm. We see it's kind of like snowing in there. If you've been gone for 5 years, you're supposed to be the Sorcerer Supreme. You're supposed to have been guarding this reality, blah, blah, blah. Everything you've been doing has been so serious, has been so calculated, and maybe Strange came out of the Infinity War, it came out of the Endgame, like, remember when Tony, again, in Avengers 1, where he kind of had PTSD? Maybe Strange has his own version. Maybe it's not PTSD, but he's like, oh, like, maybe I shouldn't be so serious.
Sure.
And maybe we're seeing him, and, Stephen Strange pre-Endgame wouldn't give Peter this spell, but this Stephen Strange is trying to do not just good by the cosmos, but maybe good by some people.
And like to Tony.
Yeah, exactly. So I can reconcile that. I just
think, I hate to, pardon the pun, but he's acting strange. Don't like it. I don't like he made me say that. You know?
Yeah, I don't like it either. It didn't feel good.
No one likes it. But I am stoked though. Regardless, I will be their opening day for this because I'm stoked, man. Because it's the last one that they technically owe Marvel, right? Sony. This might be the last Spider-Man.
I think they worked out something else after that. Yeah, I think they worked out something else after it already. Okay. I think there's already a deal for a fourth appearance and then something else. So, it's limping along. Okay,
fair enough.
We have an announcement, though. We are going to be hosting our own private watch party at Cinemark Theaters on Carefree Circle, 3305 Cinema Point. We are going to be doing
Colorado Springs.
We are going to be doing an event, a small event, but we're going to be doing something of a customer appreciation. We've only been open for about 3 weeks, but so many of you have come and have been repeat customers already. I've reached out to some of you already, so check your Instagram message boxes. And we just want to say thank you for everything. So we're doing our own screening of Shang-Chi. We're inviting some of you to come with us. We're going to be offering some cheaper tickets to maybe some newcomers here and there at $5 a piece. But some of you are getting a special offer because you have been so generous to us
since the get-go.
And we may just take all of you who we can. So we do have a finite amount of tickets to give, but it'll be our theater, our showing. And we want to, kind of share that with you guys. We don't have to sit together, we
can stretch out.
You're gonna bring your families, and we're just gonna enjoy a movie. We won't be including any refreshments, but go check out the snack bar. But yeah, we're gonna watch Shang-Chi on September 5th, Sunday at 4:30 is our showing. You'll need a special ticket, so you have to come in store to get that.
I need a +1.
And.
Ladies or dudes out there?
Eric doesn't know that he's my +1.
We need a +1 to the +1.
Yeah. So come by the store. I have more details here, but so we're gonna be doing a little bit of appreciation for you guys.
For Shang-Chi, which is awesome.
For Shang-Chi, the Shang Gang. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, all right. I watched Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, go Suicide Squad.
I watched the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I know it's been out for a couple weeks. I know it's been on HBO Max. I do have HBO Max, which is how I watched it. Sorry, guys. But I finally got to see, and oh my gosh.
You loved it.
I really enjoyed it. It didn't have strong Guardians vibes. There are Guardians vibes,
sure,
but it didn't have strong Guardians vibes.
Right. I mean, if you're the same director, you've got your quirks and ticks. They're going to show up. In
yes,
any movie. He gets a pass for that.
Totally. But I gotta say, guys, I thoroughly enjoyed this. It was funny. It had good action. It bummed me out in certain ways. Like there were some
Guardians.
There were some sad threads to this film. And it made me, and I hope I've said this on the show, but I've always been a Starro guy.
Yes.
I think Starro's really cool. I have little Starro face things to go on my DC Universe Classics figures. I have the Starro Justice League 1 San Diego box set. I was so mad they were giving out free starfishes that year.
Oh, God, really?
Masks that you could put on.
Oh.
And I asked for one, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, they're only for kids. And I was like... And now they're like more than I want to spend on eBay, but whatever. I'm done talking about it.
Were they like real?
Yeah. You could had like a string, but
so
they were
it could
like
be
foam.
like a COVID mask.
It was no, because your mouth is open.
Oh, gotcha.
But had the eye. It was great. They were awesome.
Oh man.
But and I never in a million years. You give me a million guesses, I would have never guessed that the first time I see Starro on the big screen would be in a Suicide Squad movie. It's just not something that makes a lot of sense comic book wise with the team that they had. Because honestly, for the most part, a lot of low power people in comparison to a giant starfish. But they did it really well. It was very clever. And man, I cared. I so cared about this movie. I think if you haven't seen it, if the last one left a bad taste in your mouth, if Birds of Prey left a bad taste in your mouth, this is the mouthwash, baby. This is the mouthwash. It's a very entertaining film. It's not as good as Aquaman, but if this had come out before Guardians, this might be Guardians for us.
Okay.
And not saying, again, that there's like a lot of crossover. Again, there is some style, but it was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that with these characters. I didn't know I could care about the Polka Dot Man at all.
He was explaining it to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to watch this. Like a lot of you, I wrote it off. Mm-hmm. I completely wrote off this movie because of the first Suicide Squad and of Birds of Prey. I was over DCEU except for the big three.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the way my man is explaining this to me, it sounds like it's got the right notes of dark humor, drama, and action. And those are all three that make a great superhero movie. Yeah. Maybe not the dark humor, but it works for this.
It really worked for this. They did some clever things that I didn't see coming, and they again, if you make me care about Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher 2, and you make Starro interesting, it was actually interesting. The only other time I thought Starro was interesting. I always thought visually it was a very cool character. Right. But there was a series on Batman Beyond, a 3-part episode. The episode was called The Call, and it's Terry being courted by the Justice League of that time. And we have an older Superman. We have all this. It's a wild story with Starro, and I don't want to spoil it for you guys.
It is a good episode.
It's a great series of episodes. First one's a little slow, and then 2 and 3 are really good. But it has to do with Starro, and it's great.
We got my boy John Cena in there as who does
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
An old, I think it's an old Kirby creation. But I'm not sure. But a very old creation.
How was the costume? It looked pretty good.
I mean, it looked exactly like the comic, which is ridiculous.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, it looked exactly like it. It was ridiculous. They do a good job of poking fun at themselves because basically Bloodsport, who is Idris Elba, and Peacemaker are essentially the same character. Like they do the same stuff. Like
they're just different colors.
Yes, and Bloodsport, Idris Elba's character was his dad was like an assassin and was like super abusive to Bloodsport. You know, taught him everything, but was like just like mean and torturous about it. On the other hand, Peacemaker's dad is ex-Marine, very supportive, but taught him how to and it's great, and they play off each other so well, and they even even Bloodsport's like when Waller's walking him through, and he's like, what? He's like, we do the same thing. He's like, we do the exact same stuff. Like, why are we both on the same team? Like, it's so funny. Like, again, it's just really, really, it's a little meta. It does have a light political thread through it. Like, we do see James Gunn's like mirroring like things that are happening in other countries and in America's involvement, but it's not preachy. It's just like, oh, this is a way to see this type of thing.
It's commentary.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah,
that's all it is.
It does have some political.
It's not
commentary.
Like I said, it's not trying to convert you or preach at you. It's just how he sees these certain situations through the lens of a comic book movie, which is genius.
Super solid, guys. I really think that you like it. I'd love to hear if you've seen it,
stuff.
what you think about it below. Great Harley stuff. You know, this was my favorite iteration of Harley that we've seen from Margot Robbie.
There you go.
Yeah, this was very solid. She's just annoying enough. She's acrobatic enough. She's funny enough. She was good. Rick Flag was great.
Yeah, but I say my boy Joel Kinsman.
I don't know how to say his name.
It's something like that. Yeah, I love the actor.
He's great.
I'm glad he came back. That makes me happy. I'm gonna have to watch this.
He's great. He's great. Everybody's good. And King Shark, Ratcatcher 2, and Polka Dot Man really steal the show. They steal the show, and John Cena's so good in there. If those guys weren't in there, John Cena would be all we would be talking about.
Right.
But King Shark's interesting. Ratcatcher 2's super interesting, and it's like this dark sadness that's Polka Dot Man. But again, I don't have any other adjectives. It's interesting. I don't even know if I used adjectives right, baby.
But it's like I was gonna say. But do we get any, aside from Rick Flag and Harley and Waller, do we get any other returning characters? Do we get Killer Croc?
No, we don't get Killer Croc, which, man, that's too bad. But I forgot all about Killer Croc until you just said it.
Because they brought in King Shark.
Yeah, we get Boomer.
What's his name comes back?
Jai Courtney comes back.
He comes back, okay.
Yeah.
How about Katana?
No, I think Jai Courtney was the only other. So Boomer, Harley, and Flag, but they kind of make that make sense where Waller... because we see another team. I don't remember if you saw in the trailer. Remember, what's his face is in it too. Pete Davidson's in it. He's like part of a separate team.
Oh, and they're going off to do.
Yeah, so like they were on another mission.
Oh, so they could probably be somewhere else.
Exactly. Okay. Like there's other thing. Like you see that. Oh, okay. You are getting your time off your sentence, and then you go back to prison.
Right.
And then when Waller needs you, she's like,
go
okay,
back to work.
I'm gonna get you guys here. Remember, it's 10 years off your sentence. But yeah, so
you get 10 years off a life sentence.
It's a solid movie. I would love for you to watch it if you're on the fence. I'm telling you,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, give it a chance, guys.
Yeah.
I feel like I wrote off the DCEU, and the way you're explaining this, I might have to give this another shot, dude. I feel like DC they throw a bunch of crap at us and they give us like something where you're like, man, I gotta give you guys another chance.
Yeah, the DCEU is Superman on the ground, and then Martha is Suicide Squad, and we're all Batman. And we're like, what? Like, why'd you say that? And then it ended up being good. So check that out. We have one more Marvel thing to discuss. Guys, I caught up on What If, okay? By the time of this recording, episodes 1 and 2 have been out. I did catch up on Captain Carter, which I thought was great. Eric went into it on the last episode, and I had not seen it, and he didn't ruin it for me. I enjoyed it.
I gave you the big beats.
You did leave some things for me to find out, and I loved
Which of the audience? I left it for the audience too. I don't want to ruin everything.
No. We are going to talk some
mild spoilers here. So
we are going to talk some for this great What If T'Challa
episode
2. What if T'Challa was a Star-Lord? I believe is what the story is called. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun that it made the Captain Carter one seem not as good because I watched them back to back. And but dude, I absolutely loved it. We saw this in the trailer, so this is no spoiler. So if you hadn't seen the What If trailers, I apologize. But we have basically the the Ravagers going to pick up Quill, what they think is Quill, and they just detect some like alien energy, and they're detecting the vibranium, and they find this kid in a field, and they just take him, and it's T'Challa. They just take him, and they don't take him to Ego like they were supposed to.
Right.
And he becomes a Ravager, but he becomes like an awesome Ravager.
Yes.
And he's so awesome that like what we kind of see like him going for the orb, like Peter was in Guardians 1. And when he gets there, we see our boy Korath, who is Jaimin Hansu. And Jaimin Hansu came back to voice. Chadwick Boseman is voicing T'Challa, and it's so heartbreaking.
It is. It's a bummer. But it's also
so
amazing.
Awesome. That
makes me happy.
Because the whole show is so light. It's a very fun thing. And when he's T'Challa's getting the orb, and he's got the Peter Quill-like mask, the Star-Lord mask, he turns around, Korath's there, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's Star-Lord!" He's so blown away.
He's a fan. He's marking out hard, man.
And it was so freaking fun. And yeah, he's just like an awesome Ravager. Like he helped the Ravager clans like all like get together. I don't know if we should spoil that part. If you haven't watched it,
just do it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, spoilers. He apparently talked Thanos out of his quest for the stones.
Yeah.
So like Thanos is a Ravager on his team.
Because we have to talk about this because it plays into the ending.
Go for it.
Okay. Let's do a build here.
Okay.
So it really does. So basically, what the episode is showing is that if T'Challa became Star-Lord, he does the similar things what he did with the tribes in Wakanda. He brings them together. Yeah. So he's bringing together space pirates, basically. So there's a lot less warring and infighting. We do get a lot of cool cameos. James Gunn's brother comes back.
Yeah.
As a
Kraglin.
Kraglin comes back, and then the stupid Ravager that tried to mutiny, the mutineer, he comes back.
Taserface.
Yeah, Taserface.
You have to. If you say it, you have to say it like that. All right.
And so we do get a cool like nods to everything that happened in the MCU movies, but then you get to see how much of a diplomat T'Challa is in this, and how much of like being around the king of Wakanda is just inspiring. Yeah. I mean, I know they're playing the Thanos thing for laughs. That is more for laughs than anything, and it's great
because Josh Brolin's there too. He's like doing the voice.
Yeah, we do get Nebula,
which was great,
which was awesome. I loved
it. Yeah, that Nebula and Thanos were still like father-daughter. There was no mentions of Gamora, which is interesting, and we do know that there is a Gamora episode at some point.
It's coming, yeah.
And she's kind of in the Thanos armor.
Yes.
So I mean, we already see where that's going. But it's cool to see Nebula. She had like long blonde hair.
Yeah, not cybernetic up.
And it sounded like Karen Gillan.
It was
sounded
her.
Okay.
It was her. Yeah.
And she called T'Challa Cha-Cha, and I love that. In my old job, some of my employees would call me Cha-Cha.
I call
them Cha-Cha. And actually, my fantasy football team name last year was T'Chavez.
Hey.
It was super fun. We got the Collector, but he wasn't. But it wasn't. Man, I'm losing the names today. Benicio.
Yes, it was.
It was? Dude, he sounded weird. Okay, he sounded weird to me.
I think he was going for more operatic in this.
Yes, he was, because he was like jacked.
Right. And that's why I think he was going for more like, he wasn't, the sneaky Collector.
I didn't catch that it was him.
Yeah,
okay,
it was
that's
definitely
awesome.
Benicio. We do get to go into the realm of the Collector in this What If episode. We do get we get a Seth Green cameo as Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Him and T'Challa have a good back and forth.
Yeah.
And then, just a lot of the cool cameos, a lot of cool visual things in the background. We're just going to get to the ending, and this is a spoiler. We're hitting big beats here, but there's a lot of cool Easter eggs and cameos you can pick up on.
Yeah.
But we're going to head right into the ending, where turns out, the mission is, I forgot what the mission was, but we get to the Collector being the bad guy.
Yes. Yeah, the Collector is trying to get T'Challa.
Yes.
And he finds out that... so at one point, T'Challa wanted to go back home to Wakanda, and Yondu says, "Oh, hey, I went, and the nations had warred, and there's nothing left."
Right.
Turns out, Yondu was lying, kept him in space, and they find a Wakandan ship and the Collector's like stuff, and there's like a message from to Chaka. Saying, you know, like looking for his son, that he was abducted and everything. So you have this whole thing of where, you know, Yondu is his dad, but he, you know, did wrong, but he's done a lot of good. I mean, he basically saved the universe.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't know it. And it's cool because you kind of hear Thanos like off, like in the bars, and he's like talking to these girls, and you see some girl, and she's like, that kind of sounds like genocide. He's like, yeah, but it's efficient. You know, it's just super, super fun. It's just really, really fun.
I mean,
it wasn't what I was expecting.
It wasn't what I was expecting either. But you know, I don't want to give away the ending, but you know, those are the big beats for you. And yeah, compared to Captain Carter, this one is like, it moves at breakneck speed.
Yeah.
This one is just like boom, boom, boom. It's hitting you with like jokes and action, cool cameos. Captain Carter was a slow burn, in my opinion, which I know I enjoyed it, but
I thought it was rushed in the beginning, but then once it got to like the train sequence in Captain Carter, then it was like a nice pace for me.
Right, there you go. I mean, they had a lot to cover in Captain Carter. This one, I feel like they had more room to play around.
Yeah, and it just seemed like they were having so much fun.
This one was fun. And again, you know, we're gonna just get to it. It was heartbreaking to hear Chadwick Boseman's voice for me. But it was also very cool.
It was awesome.
You know,
what a great way for because you know, if we didn't have this, his last stuff would have just been an Endgame, which he didn't really have that much going on.
He really didn't, Clint. Give it to me.
Give it to me.
That's it.
Yeah.
That would have been his last words.
It was a weird adult film after that. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Oh yeah.
Give it to me, Clint. Give it to me, Clint. It was great to hear, you know, like I said, that while he was going through this very tough thing in his life, he did this super fun and, you know, reimagined. Dude, I couldn't imagine us even getting an awesome Black Panther movie, let alone an animated What If series. The only way to top this is to do live action What If one-off movies.
Who knows, man? I mean, I'm for it.
I'm all about it.
I think we've said this on previous shows. This might be what DC needs to do, is just do Elseworld movies.
Yeah, just like get out there. Like we know
your characters.
Yeah, we know the characters well enough.
Yeah,
we could see some like wild stuff, and yeah, you're gonna have to make them on cheap. You have to do some Batman ones first. Make them cheap so that they make a lot of money.
Yeah, right.
And then you can do the big, you know, the Red Suns and whatnot.
The
Kingdom Comes.
Yeah,
Kingdom Come live action would be amazing.
Man, that one would be pricey.
It would be pricey. There's a lot of people.
That would have to be like the.
But if you could use Keaton, if you could use Brandon Routh, maybe.
Yeah, you get them for a couple bucks.
Yeah. For a few schmeckles.
I mean, if we had a large pizza at $20, I'm sure we could get Brandon Routh to come here.
Oh my gosh! That's
an effing loser.
Oh my gosh! I do not agree. I appreciate you, Brandon Routh.
Actually, I think he's awesome. I love him. Yeah. I'm just messing with you, dude.
He's just aggressive. He had a long day. If you can't tell, we're sitting down. I hope you can tell we're sitting down. But
so yeah. But, you know, long story short, I started a new job. I'm not going to get into what it is. I'm working in an office now.
This guy.
And it's
This is my office.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
I was a bartender for many years, and having to shift to this very stationary job.
Bar back by trade.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
By trade.
Yeah, it's different. It's very different, man.
He was like,
so
dude,
what if I didn't become a bartender?
He was like, dude, do you think we could sit on some stools tonight? I was like, yeah, man.
I like the sitting. It makes us look more relaxed.
It is.
Yeah.
I kind of sway a little bit. It's fine. It's fine.
And we got Norrin Rad chilling with us tonight.
The Rad.
Only
Dad.
at REC. You mofos.
And Torpedo, but whatever. It's fine.
Torpedo got this?
Yeah, they do. I know.
Coming at you.
But they also have an AT-AT coming through the ceiling, and it's awesome.
Oh,
it's really awesome.
I've never been to Torpedo.
Dude, it's great.
I talked to John at San Diego for a while, and I know you've talked to him a few times.
Yeah, he sold me my Fantastic Four 48. Thanks, John.
Yeah. If you don't know, John Domain from System of a Down does own one of probably the coolest
one of the mecca comic book stores, you know, in terms of, you know, popular ones.
Right.
And
he's a great guy. He's an awesome dude. If you're in Las Vegas, or we're
Anaheim, I think. Anaheim or Orange County.
Go check out Torpedo, man. I know we're doing a commercial for them, but you know, John's just been a cool dude.
Hey, you do good.
He's good to my boy. He was super nice to me because I was wearing a Buddy Head T-shirt. He's like, oh, he gave me that eye roll. He's like, I like Buddy Head though.
Well, kids, that is our show. If you like what we're doing, please hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment below. Tell us what you thought. If you've watched The Suicide Squad, let us know what you think. I don't know. I thought it was great.
I'm going to watch it before next show.
I hope so.
I will chime in and give you like a 5-minute review.
I would love that. Maybe we can do our bathroom sessions with that.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Shout out to Mrs. REC Podcast for designing probably the coolest comic book store bathroom you're ever going to see.
We're gonna do something special there.
We're going to do a
it's
show
weird.
there.
It's weird, awesome. Kids. Come check us out at the store, 7679 North Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs. And come check us out. Reach out to us about the Shang-Chi private screening that we're going to be doing on September 5th. Come by the store for more details. Eric, do you have any final thoughts for us today?
You know what? I'm just excited things are going good for you.
Yes.
Spring's Comic Con's this weekend. You might see me there, kids.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I might be there.
I've got one more thing.
Oh, yeah,
I was going to tell you the story. I have a story.
And then I forgot about this.
I'm sorry, guys. So, had a really nice guy and his son come in the shop today. Really cool. I met them at a different business. I was talking about that I had a comic book store. He brought his kid in. They got some cool action figures. I was very excited. I invited them to our screening.
Okay,
cool.
So
I gave him this. His son was looking around. He was young. He's a younger kid.
Sure.
He's looking around. He couldn't really find anything that he was super into. So as they're leaving, the dad says, "Hey," he's like, he says, "Did you say thank you?" And the kid looks at me and goes, "Thanks for nothing." And I just start laughing, and the dad's like horrified. He's like, "Oh my!" He's like, "That is so rude." And I get myself together. I was like, "I get it, man. I get it. I didn't have anything that he could get."
Right. So he was. In his way, he's being polite.
And he doesn't understand that he just got free tickets to Shang-Chi.
Right.
But oh my God, I thought it was so funny. Yeah, it's rude, but it was so funny.
Yeah, and then when you have kids, they say the darndest things.
They say the darndest things.
I guess that's my final thought. Kids say the darndest things. My son's a complete a-hole.
All right, kids. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. I have been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm still Erik at Chris Grace, and I love you. I'm just messing with you.
And we will catch you guys in the next podcast.